بازی بعدی رو قراره بریم ببینیم. لحظه دیگر بازی قراره شروع بشه. بریم تنظیمات
International are now back on the main stage to finish the job they started last year. They were the team to beat in 2023 and they want to prove that they are on top still here at the International in 2024. 10 players up against each other. There's rivalry, but I know there's also so much love and friendship, and I know they're gonna give it their all on the battlefield. I don't think we're gonna go for any favorites here, especially after what we saw yesterday when both of these teams faced each other. This is a fresh start for both Lacoste. Both teams fresh in the booth. One best of 5. That's all.
That's all it takes. You got here, I'm not gonna say you're gonna forget about how you got here because there's a lot to learn. If we go back to 2023, the way Gaming played, when they got out of the groups, they were not playing as fast. Suddenly, they are stepping it up. They're turning these games into 20, 25-minute games. It's all about the speed. These two teams are super effective at dominating the early stage, turning that early advantage into Roche, into a high ground push.
And that's going to be the question I'm looking at in the grand final.
Similar, but they crushed lanes too hard, and Liquid were never able to get the upper hand in that sense. This time around, it feels like Team Liquid, while still crushing the lanes, have focused a lot more on their early game map movement, their twin gate rotations, their smokes to mid. They've been looking so sharp and clean, and that's where they've been getting majority of their dominance from, not just their laning stage.
Yeah, we'll see who comes out ahead of laning stages in this upcoming game. I think it's
اگه
also time to
میبندم
talk
میام
about
بخاطر
one
اینکه
lane
دارم
in
این سری کار
particular.
کنم.
With that in mind, it's a lane that always draws attention. Of course, I'm talking about Quinn versus Nisha in the mid lane. I think Lacoste, this tournament, Nisha has been on fire, one of his best tournaments, if not the best tournament he's ever played.
I think we say that pretty much every single tournament where Nisha participates. If we go back to earlier at the start of the year, he did win that 1v1 tournament at Dacha. This guy is just a beast. He has been, I would say, the most stable Dota performer of all time. I don't remember last time Nisha had a bad performance in a game where it really matters. And heroes that he does play, he has a pretty large hero pool, and he's always super active. If you look at the KDA stats, he's always going to be pretty much in top 5. This guy is just a beast.
He really is, and he's incredibly talented because I think out of all of the top performing players at TI, he has the highest performance to pub ratio. He does not need to be pubbing 24/7 to play at the level that he does, and that really is just pure talent. On that topic too, usually at TI, we have a handful of rampages per year. This year, there's only been one rampage, and it's been by Nisha's Puck versus Extreme Gaming 7 days ago. So he has definitely made his mark here already.
Not only that, just like the way in which he's conducting himself in the playoffs. It's like he's got 2 deaths in one game, 3 in another. We are going to see the rampage here. Like it's the clutch, disengage to then find the opportunities, and that is where Liquid is looking so exceptional. They're enabling each other to pop off. And Nisha on the puck, that is a hero that I'm looking for in the grand final. So far, he's 4 for 4 with it, but in the draft, can you really get that ban in play? Can you really ban a puck and feel good about your integrity? And there is a rampage, a rare occurrence at the international, like Effie was mentioning. But yeah, Nisha, he is, insanely good right now.
And in top form, it needs to be said. To be fair, though, both of these teams have been in top form. Otherwise, you do not make it to the international grand finals. Another matchup that draws attention from us is that off lane. We have to compare the 2 off lanes. First of all, we already mentioned Ace, hometown hero, but also one of the players, Tigov, that has the most experience possible in competitive games.
Yeah, so Ace is about to potentially, if this goes to 5 games, he'll hit 2,000 career pro games played. And that's an elite club. There's only 20, 25 players in the world that have got 2,000 pro games. So to think about Ace, he's had such a long career, in and out of the limelight, but right now, on the grand stage, he's just to think, 2,000 games. So many.
That is a lot of pro games. 33 still has a little bit of a ways to go, but both offlaners
میبندم میکروفونمو تا بازی شروع بشه.
on the way that these two teams operate.
They really do, and 33 is such a niche style of offlaner in that he has a specific hero pool that he hones to perfection. He is so farm intensive. He hits his timing so fast, and typically any team that plays with 33 plays around his timing, his snowball, his calls. And that's why Team Liquid at the start of the year looked a little bit shaky, because when you're adapting to such a niche offlaner, it does take time to get there. But they finally did. We saw them at the last Riyadh Masters. Some of their games, you know, they were a little bit disjointed. You'd see 33 like
معلوم میشه حالا لیگ بازی کردن
the
اینجا
other four took a fight
نشنال
on the
فینال
other
دوتا
side of the map. But as that tournament progressed, they got to the point where they finally connected and they made it to the grand finals there too.
33 is what we call the biggest nerd in Dota in a good way. This guy pretty much experiments with everything. He is the guy who innovates the most. When it comes down to his hero pool, it's not as big, but he also tries to break the game with some extra gold. He's playing the Visage, he's playing this Doom. If you remember a couple of weeks ago, he was testing out this Doom and bought Hand of Midas 5 or 6 times with his facets, so that allows him to get more gold, buy an item, sell an item, go back for an item. This guy always finds something in the game, something that looks game-breaking, and it looks really good. And we're gonna see, you know, the new couple, the lane for life.
Awesome. But just on the topic of 33 as well, he is such an asset to a team, not just as a player in terms of his skill level, but in terms of his ideas, what he brings to the table in terms of the draft and the meta. When a new patch comes out, you need players like him on your team that can break the meta, find out what is good fast, and you can see that his ideas have already leaked into the team as well too.
I just hope that gaming coming into this, you know, how one-sided it was in the upper bracket where Liquid put them, you know, game into lower bracket. We've identified 33. He is the timing type player. In 15, 20 minutes, he always hit his stride. He always has a hero that can progress the map or progress a key fight. If they shut him down, we'll finally see Liquid have to play in a different style than pretty much their entire playoff front. Like, we're yet to see it. So maybe gaming, if they can focus on their safe lane, try and punish 33, that's when, you know, the real games will begin.
Yeah, I think there's one matchup that we haven't highlighted, I feel like, at all maybe in the last 2 weeks that we've been here. And that is the matchup of the two coaches. Because just over 2 years ago, CY joined Gaming Gladiators, and at that point, Lacoste, nobody knew who he was.
No, he was pretty much not known to the scene, but now we can see why they decided to pick him up, because this guy is way too good. He's bringing so many fresh ideas. And on the other side, you had Blitz, you know, 2019. He's sending out a tweet that Team Liquid, they need a coach. At the time, they were called Alliance. So he's building up a squad. He ends up coaching that squad because the rest of the team wants him to coach it. This guy, too good. And also, Jabs, as an analyst, joins at the end of 2020. Now they have a KP as well. Dota player that has, you know, great achievements throughout his career during the Elite League. They also had Jerex at one time during the coach.
چند بازی اولشونه.
Liquid is one big happy family that has pretty much everything in their place. Every single time you see those guys on camera, they're pretty much vibing.
I think both teams just share the same philosophy, right? Like, Dota's about not only competing, but also, you know, being friends out of the game, ensuring that, you know, you're able to, you know, work on your problems. If there is a problem, you know, back in the day it was, if there's a problem, kick them, get a new guy. Nowadays it's like, you know, how can we work it out? Maybe is it a point of pressure that is being applied to you? How can we sort it out? And I feel like when you look at, like, you know, Celery, Tofu, CY, kind of that kind of gang compared to Blitz, like, they are identical copies of themselves, just two different jerseys.
Yeah, and on the topic of coaches, it should be noted that CY, the coach of Gaming Gladiators, is also Danish. So this tournament does mean a lot to him. And that's actually how he got to coaching GG. He was friends with Ace for a long time. Ace vouched for him. He was brought to the team and it clicked. He focused on leading by example. We would often see him in the lobby, you know, telling his players to go to sleep early, to go to the gym, and he, similarly to Blitz, just wants them to all be able to be friends with each other. If there is a difference between these two coaches, though, I would say that CY is a lot more stat-oriented, whereas in Liquid there are people assigned to do that. CY also kind of takes the brunt of the research and the analysis.
Yeah, leading by example and growing as a team. I think for both of these squads, that has been the theme over the last years. That's why we see these 10 players, maybe 12 if you want to call it, or if you want to count all of Team Liquid's entourage as well. It is two big families on that stage up against each other in a best-of-5 grand finals. We also have to mention that we have the chance for one of these 12 one of these 12 has a chance to be a repeat champion in 33 T-Gov.
Yeah, and that's the experience where I think he's going to have to maybe even lead some of the team talks, depending on how game one goes. Like when they go backstage after game one, you're going to lean on 33. Okay, how do we deal with this? How do we react to the, the pressure of the grand finals? Because for these players to not lift an Aegis already, like then no one's going to know what this feeling feels like. There's not many players or teams that get to this stage, so I think Liquid might have the slight advantage there. Also, a little bit of a crowd advantage. All these camera shots that we keep showing. I'm seeing a lot of Liquid, banners, but yeah, TI appearances. They have been on their pursuit for the Aegis for multiple years. Interestingly, though, of course, Tofu, Celery, and Doraccio only ever played with gaming. Hence, again, the camaraderie sticking together. It helps so much.
And to think about that, Quinn, he attended 6 TIs. This guy almost quit, and we would not witness his greatness, because before joining Gaming Gladiators, he was, talking to him in an interview about it, that, because the results were not there, so he needed something else, some kind of a buff, and that's where the rest of the Gaming Gladiators kicked in.
Yeah, I mean, Quinn had such a long journey in his competitive career where he was so perseverant. He tried and he tried and he tried for those TIs, right? All the way, like, you go all the way back to FDL, Team Freedom, Quincy Crew, finally Sonics. It felt like as much effort and as much grinding as he was doing, it didn't amount to anything. And he was ready to retire up until he got that offer from Gaming Gladiators. And imagine if that hadn't happened. Everything would have been so different last year. The whole competitive scene would have been different. So Quinn really should be commended on his perseverance within the scene.
100%, 100%. And we should also highlight two people that we don't really talk too much about, because let's be fair, Nisha and Quinn, they take a lot of the spotlight, that happens with the mid lane. There is one person that for Gaming Gladiators, when they're winning, it's Quinn doing great. When they're losing, Doraccio is the scapegoat every single time, T.
Yeah, but that's because Doraccio, he likes to be aggressive. He likes to go for the twin gate. He wants to be finding opportunities, taking the fight. And when we look at the overall structure of the team, Ace is a little bit more of a focal point for late game scaling. And Doraccio, he has to open up the game somehow sometimes. And so it can hurt them a lot, or it can get them to the grand finals of TI.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a perfect meta for that kind of carry style. First of all, the carry hero pool in these Wind Rangers and these Miranas and these Lunas and these Blink Dagger first DKs, this carry pool is made for hyper-aggressive early game players and not for the typical late game carry. And throughout this TI, we've seen that the teams who are unwilling to sacrifice their carries did not make it very far. Teams like BB Team, teams like XG, teams that refused to put their carry in a situation where they would die in the early game and they needed to enable them to have a perfect game, they just couldn't cut it. We've seen from Falcons, from Liquid, from GG, you have to be willing to throw your carry in a bad position early game if it's for the good of the team.
My only hope for that in this series, that we don't see Doraccio kind of move into the Clinxes and the Mortis that we've seen him trying to pick up in earlier stages of the tournament. I want to see him on like the Alchemist, the Razor, Lone Druid, DK, the heroes that can throw himself into the fight and have that turnaround potential. When he's on these types of heroes, it is a scary game for gaming every single time.
And some of the top 3 safe lane combos that we've seen throughout the tournament, Mirana, Treant Protector, win rate is not there. I don't think we're going to be seeing Mirana played from a carry role anymore. The hero shines from position 4. The big one for me is Luna and Tusk. These are the heroes that kind of are dominating, especially Tusk being the first pick material, having overall pretty much every spell in the game that you need. You have double save, you have roach taking potential, you have extra damage, you also have BKB piercing abilities, block, whatever you need, you have it in Tusk.
You really do?
If we could walk down memory lane a bit, so we should touch upon the history of these two teams in a grand finals, because something happens to Team Liquid. Something happens to Team Liquid when they play that best of 5, because their history against Gaimin in best of 3s is actually really good. They've beat them multiple times in regular series, but once they get to these 5-game series, it feels like something goes wrong, Shiver.
Something goes wrong, but that is when they come from the lower bracket. Potentially, this time will be different. As we mentioned earlier, this is a fresh series, a fresh best of 5, and how it will play out, nobody knows. But it is time to get started with our grand finals.
Team Liquid versus Gaming Gladiators Grand Finals. Game 1.
It has begun game 1 of our best of 5 here in Royal Arena in Copenhagen, Denmark. And for that first game, we got Team Liquid coming from the upper bracket to the dire side with first pick. They already got their hands on Nature's Prophet. Gaming Gladiators will play this first game. From the Radiant side, they will also get that strategic overall last pick. And Lacoste, I think we are seeing an opening here from both teams. That is basically throwing out the playbook.
Pretty much. Team Liquid, they did not lose with Nature's Prophet yet. They played 2 games on 2 different roles, won both of them, and now we're seeing Underlord, something that worked out amazingly in their previous series that they played. They did open up earlier today, literally 2 hours ago when they played against Tundra. We kind of expected this hero to come out when gaming is going to be pushed against the wall, when they're going to be backs against the wall. So Underlord back in action. We saw what they can do in game 3, going for that Hail Mary play behind the enemy throne and kill it.
Also, Nature's Prophet is a hero that is typically counterpicked, or was typically counterpicked throughout the last few months by Dragon Knight. Often teams have reacted to NP with this hero, but yesterday Team Liquid put Gaming Gladiators in a position where they picked Dragon Knight twice and lost twice. So they're kind of just throwing them the gauntlet here. I dare you to pick Dragon Knight. I dare you to counterpick our Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, and the thing here with Nature's Prophet, I like how Gaming have already made a statement. Nature's Prophet cannot play Dota if in the first 15 minutes you don't take towers. You can fall off and your entire game is built on momentum. So you pick an Underlord in the off lane, Quinn gets an anti-Prophet hero from the mid, and have a really strong safe lane. Now this Nature's Prophet will be a little bit lost in the early moves, looking on other heroes for Liquid to step up and fill that void. But luckily for Liquid, they're so aggressive that the weaknesses of a bad counter pick for the Natures, it will be fixed by other heroes, but something to consider.
Yeah, and betting out Enchantress, this hero, we said it a lot of times, but I would say position 5 as well of the tournament, besides Tusk, when it comes down to damage dealing. Win rate, I would say it doesn't do her justice. This hero has been pretty much a turret with the pure damage, and also because you're playing off the Greater Treant, she can easily steal that, use it against you, so very good ban from Liquid.
And as we have the Grand Finals mini-meta already clear in Game 1, Gaming having to ban the Rubik in the second phase because of the Underlord. You give a Rubik to Liquid, that's a free Pit of Mana's, free Firestorm, he just becomes the better version of Underlord, but you'd never see that ban really if the Underlord wasn't picked.
Pasca is still available, struggles against root mechanics, against leashes, but we've seen in the previous series what he can do, even though playing in a bad matchup. This is just overall one of the best heroes that gives you everything, so I want to see this hero being contested in the second pick phase.
Mirana and Omni Knight are also available heroes that haven't gone ignored that much this TI. Mirana is a really great hero that you can build your draft around. Both teams have a good track record playing it, and it amplifies a lot of damage coming out from ranged cores like Furion.
The aura he provides from his spells, the bonus healing, with then any jungle creep he wants to try and influence, it's so hard to deal with. Auras from Underlord, auras from Chen.
And it's all about the speed. If you have Underlord plus Chen, that also means that you will have 2 heroes who are going to be buying into auras, so you will hit an earlier timing. But I like this. This is Team Liquid's bread and butter. Tusk that we did mention, plus the Visage, super strong lane. You get that extra gold whenever you get the kill with Visage, up to 210 gold with the Facet. Super speedy draft.
It also gives you an overwhelming amount of tower pressure, because now you're looking at Visage plus the auras with his familiars at level 6. You're looking at the Nature's Prophet TP in with the Greater Treant, and I would imagine that Liquid want a hero that can go through the Twin Gate early, get that bottom lane tower with 33's Visage, kick the enemy carry out, and make Gamon's maps smaller. This is where Chen does come into play a little bit, because Chen is also considered a counter pick to Furion, because he can enchant his Greater Treant and take that away.
I mean, again, with Chen, the jungle, if you get the Frost Mage, get the Ice Armor from the jungle creep, you're throwing even more armor into a Tusk and a Nature's Prophet that like to utilize the right-click damage, but still, CK. Strong lane. They're fitting the formula that I mentioned, right? Strong safe lane to try and apply punishment. Off lane that doesn't care about profit. They're taking the fight to Liquid in that laning stage.
CK was also one of GG's favorite pairings with Chen at the last tournament, the Riyadh Masters, where they would just throw in CK's body with all of Chen's healing and auras and try to out-pressure the enemies. This hero did fall out of they're so cute. This hero did fall out of meta though because of the meta shifting to the semi-carry range players, but I think within this draft still does a great job.
Yeah, and they've not played CK so far at the International, but again, we know that they play it throughout the year, so it shouldn't be a shock to Liquid.
I want to see which facet he's going to go for. Phantasmagoria, it does give you damage reduction on CK illusions, but Irrationality, that's the one that has been buffed. You can apply Break, Disarm, or Silence for a 50% of the base debuff duration. So it could be really nice against Visage.
This Batrider also very nice against Visage, especially in that early game. You want to kill Visage where he's most susceptible, which is the laning stage. If he has heroes that can go on him, that can reposition him, then that's where you can threaten him the most before he gets his familiars up early, before he starts taking your towers early. So I would hope that this Batrider is being played on Tofu, that he's going to go through the gates and try to get 1 or 2 kills at least on Visage.
Now you see the mid lane, the undefeated Puck from Nisha coming in to punish the lack of lockdown. The Batrider and the Chen, if this is your support duo, it's really difficult for them to ever kill off the Puck. Same thing, like Underlord with a root, it's nice, but it's not enough. You always need that +1.
Remove Monkey on side of Liquid. This hero is still a bit... Oh, never mind. He's banned. He's banned. This is one of the worst matchups for Pucks. We've seen Gaming Gladiators kind of own the map 7-8 minutes in. Yeah, I think Quinn in one of those games was godlike.
I think I would like to see Quinn get maybe Earthshaker.
I was about to say.
I want like a little bit of instant stun. Again, DK, it is available, but that was like the old school. The new school is going for Earthshaker. Instant stun, there's going to be, again, not a lot of treants because it's the only single tree, but with the birds, the tree, the grouping, the natural objective pressure Liquid applies, you're going to have opportunities because Underlord will soak the initiation to get good jumps.
The Omni Knight ban would have been such a great hero for Liquid, especially with this Batrider coming out. The need to counter the lasso to make sure your carry Nature's Prophet isn't getting jumped on early on. It gets taken out. Another potential save support that Liquid could run versus the Batrider is Oracle. It is a hero that they enjoy.
This is going to be sustained. These fights, nobody's going to die instantly. So many saves coming out from, you know, just Underlord with his auras buying Chen with his ulti. Everybody has some kind of a lifesteal as well. I don't see any Shiva's buyer or Scotty buyers yet on side of Liquid.
Interesting gaming.
الان فکر میکنم که
I think Liquid Protector living armor against the CK, the overgrowth to kind of secure some additional team fight to ensure your lane goes well for the profit. It could have been pretty cool, but again, Clockwork a little bit more aggressive for the mid game at least potentially. But yeah, I'm expecting Trent from Liquid here.
Gaming at the moment maybe realizing that Team Liquid can't really commit that hard. Really have a strong initiator like Clockwork would be. Got their hands on it. In Liquid ban out the sniper and they got.
یا الان فکر میکنم صدا بالانس باشه. باز به من بگید اگه صدا گیم کم بود بهم بگید.
Functions as an excellent save versus both the Batrider Lasso and the CK stun. You just disrupt the target he goes on, you just build those stacks up for your Visage in that triangle so that he could hit his timings faster, and it gives you the ability to set up on the map for the Nature's Prophet TP, which is very important. That is what Furion wants to play with, aggressive side lanes so that he can take advantage of his global presence early on.
The one thing to add, Shadow Demon against CK, against his innate ability, whenever CK creates an illusion, there's a 50% chance, and their chance also applies to Shadow Demon. So if he uses Disruption, he could create more illusions out of CK.
It just helps against the aura as well. When Liquid want to push early on, one cheap aura from the Underlord is now mitigated. When you go on a hero, Shadow Demon can get rid of any of the buffs. So yeah, it helps Liquid secure their first Roshan, get that forward in 20 minutes. That's what the SD is going to secure. But they had a minute of reserve time for gaming on this last pick. They now pick up the hero. And they go for a
What the hell?
Finally, everybody was playing this hero coming into TI, road to TI. Every single mid player had 7+.
این قراره مید لین
What makes this hero
ریچی بازی کنه.
is now with his facet, you get 4.5 extra agi, so you're kind of one-shotting the creep wave, and also with your shard, you don't allow Shadow Demon nor Tusk to be able to get their saves off.
And not just that, the facet makes it so you're not just one-shotting creep waves, but the jungle, you clear that so fast because Ricky's abilities are low cooldown. But the biggest factor for Ricky here is his silence, his smoke. He's going to use this to try to kill the Puck early game with the defusal plus smoke cloud plus one rotation from his team. Puck should always be dead. Also, when you've got two save supports, like Tusk and Shadow Demon, you need backline control like Ricky provides.
And you can't target when you're in the smoke screen if he gets a shard. And on top of that, you're going to force Nisha to have to think about a 4-staff or a BKB on the puck. That just sounds awful because every puck player, they want to go for all the damage, the Witchblades, the Blink, the Kaya, everything other than save. And now he has to think about it. So yeah, Ricky pick, pretty niche. I like it. A lot of cool options and yeah, nice refreshing draft. Gaming bringing out, what, 2 heroes that we didn't see so far at TI in game 1 of the grand finals.
I love it. I am very curious to see how this first game is going to play out. I am also very curious to hear some words from Coach Blitz, who's on the stage.
میدشونه دیگه.
Thank you very much, Blitz. Welcome to Grand Finals with Team Liquid, where it seems like Gaiman, they still have tricks up their sleeve. Quinn, last pick Ricky mid. What do you think about it?
I mean, he's a rat. He only plays these cheese heroes that require 0 skill. He's afraid of playing Nisha straight up 1v1, so he's going to do some stuff like this all the time. I understand it. It's all good. I'd do the same if I was playing Nisha.
I see. So it's a cowardice strategy, perhaps. And also, I was hoping to get some questions about your fashion choices. I see all the other coaches, they go into their jerseys. They have their specific uniforms. But you come out looking nice. I like it. What's the reasoning?
I think it's important to look your best before you bury somebody.
گفتش لباس چرا با بقیه فرق داره؟ ما با یونیفرم اومدیم تو اینطوری اومدی؟ گفت به نظر من بهتره به خودت برسه قبل از اینکه بخوای یکی رو دفن کنی. صدا من یا صدا بازیگری دید منو بابا.
Many times before. We know how it tends to go, supposed to go. Could it be different today?
نه صدا خوبه. بالانس صدا خوبه.
But the best thing is we're definitely going to get 3 games.
But that's true. That's true. We've already been spoiled with quite some fantastic Dota already earlier in the day today, and let's hope that continues here into this best of 5. So as we heard, exciting talks around the Quinn to end the draft from game.
Do
you think this is something that did go under Liquid's radar?
I mean, we've seen people talking about it. The pubs have been riddled with it. Thompson was playing it a ton. Quinn and tons of these. It's a lot of heroes that you have to think about, and it is grand final, so this becomes its own mini meta. So things are gonna come out that you maybe didn't expect fully, but we'll see if it ends up working, because you can tell why they wanted it. Panel talked about it, the anti-saves, the silence versus the puck and stuff like that. So yeah, let's see what ends up going down and how these matchups end up going. I haven't seen a Ricky versus puck matchup in a long time, if not ever.
It's going to be exciting to see what Quinn can pull off, especially as we saw in some of the replays earlier being shown from Nisha this tournament on his puck. He has had some insane showings. Let's see if he's going to be on the way to get some more of those rampages that we know he's able to pull out on this hero. Overall, though, do you have a preference with the style that either of the teams have decided to pull out here in this first game of the best of 5?
Liquid's gone more for just the standard at this tournament, right? I feel like Gaming, they've clearly gone a little bit different. Yes, 3 of the heroes look very, very normal, but the CK and the Ricky are a bit of that oddball out at least.
لین سیکیشن خیلی لین سرطانیه. من که شنو دوست ندارم از هیچ چرتیه از این بازی حذف بشه، ولی به نظر من خیلی لین سنگینی خواهد بود.
They've got tons of sustain with Divine Favor. They'll be able to mana burn, and of course CK just has built-in sustain from that Chaos Strike.
I mean, how much does that sort of mess with Liquid's game plan if Liquid's duo lane down here isn't necessarily able to find early kills?
It probably messes with it a decent amount because that's the way they've played with 33, just looking for constant kills. But Liquid is not afraid to break 33 out of this lane. I've seen him roaming at like the 6-minute mark as this Visage, and it ends up working out a lot of times. So it's all going to come down if they can get those type of trade kills or not. It feels like it could be difficult for them to pressure this lane down bottom. But they are taking care of that Satyr. So that's the second time now Celery has put the Satyr, the one that burns the mana, the Mind Steal, I believe it's called, and it killed it twice. So that's actually huge because it reduces that mana. Also, it gives that extra mana to Dyrachyo too. So it's good that they're able to clear that one out to at least try to apply some pressure onto the CK.
Mid lane, Quinn
is giving it to Nisha.
He certainly is getting a fair few denies in, of course, already in this Ricky versus Puck match.
Oh shit!
He's going to find the first blood. Well, I said I don't know if Liquid expected this Ricky to come out, and I don't know if Nisha was prepared to play this matchup, or at least expected something like that to come out from him. Quinn just jumps in and kills him off first.
After already decimating in the laning phase too, the first 2-3 waves, 10 and 4 on this Ricky. You heard it from Blitz. Quinn likes to play these little bit of cheesy heroes in a way, but this one, at least in the first few waves, it's going to be great. And you can see, we talked about the reasons why they want it later on. So if he's off to a good start, can be a very dangerous hero.
Absolutely. He's going to be just such a nuisance for every single one of Liquid's heroes if Quinn does start to ball out of control.
Honestly, all of them, a lot of them do really suffer
What do you do?
Ricky. Yeah,
What do you do? There's Ricky sneaking around, jumping on top of you, slamming down a smoke screen and killing you off with this incredible amount of damage with the tricks of trade. Yeah, Quinn gets his first item at a quick timing. Liquid, they've got some serious problems they're going to have to start answering.
Absolutely, but they do have strong lane up top in particular. Mickey, they do have great ways to rotate around the map and pressure everywhere too, so should be able to react. It's just, yeah, if he's able to sneak into these back lines, it's going to disrupt a lot of these potential saves that come out either from Boxy and from Insania.
Now looking at the top lane so far, Mickey's farm, perfectly fine. Obviously, Gaming Gladiators getting the Ace Underlord in. We saw how incredible Ace is on this hero and just how much this hero offers, right? In that crazy game we had earlier, this can absolutely be the hero that is that crucial part to just get you the win, get on top of the Ancient, end the game. There's so much you can do with it, and Ace, he knows how to do everything with it.
Yeah, it matches mobility as well too, which is really, really nice versus something like Nature's Prophet when the game starts getting to these type of moves that are happening all over the map. So yeah, it's definitely, obviously their bread and butter, and they've moved up that priority so much, just first picking it now.
And they're not afraid to do so whatsoever. On the other side of the map, Dracho still continuing to have very little pressure applied to him because of the nature of the setup. The Gaming Gladiators went with
نه تو این سطح اینا پیگای تخمی نمیکنن. رفت اونور رو فایت اینا دوربینو بردن اونور. درجا خریه.
Could be the block off there from Boxy. He's able to present himself, make sure the Celery and Dresho cannot continue to chase. Maybe if they can turn and try.
خب چن
In return, another solo subject comes in.
تکرار میکنم چن هیرو چرتیه. بس هر باری که چن بمیره اینو میگم. پیکاشون تخمی هم نیست. ببین اینا کارهایی که با این هیرو ها میکنن کاری نیستش که ما میکنیم. اینا بست آف دی وردن دیگه. اینا حق دارن هر چیز دلشون میخواد پیک کنن. ولی خب نتیجه نمیگیرن. چون به نظر نمیرسه نتیجه بگیره. حتی که این گیمو ببرم صحنه یو دلم میخواد ببینم که فایتی رو به خاطر کاری که چن کرده بوده در میارم.
It really does. It's going to be one of those sort of situations where I feel like Niche is going to really be keeping his eyes open for big opportunities on the side lanes once he hits the 6 to see if there's heroes who can team up and help him out, or maybe even some sort of early potential from Mickey to come in with a teleport, maybe a support rotation. Probably looking around that 6-minute power in timing to try and catch Quinn out.
No, absolutely. And I would imagine like the combos that they can do with the coil plus the rapid they might want to give Mickey just extra levels up here. So I want to see Insania maybe play just further on the side, just get that 6 very early on so that Nisha can make that first move with that extra big bonus damage. And Mickey's actually making a potential move. He's canceling a few times.
Bottom lane.
Getting gone on top.
They're going in with a dive on towards Duracho. The solo subject burst
نه چون کار دستش بعد الان میتونه اینو بادی بلاک کنه بمیره.
Same time indeed on that top lane, losing Mickey. So whilst the aggression came out from Liquid first down bottom, overall they're the ones to lose 2 heroes, top and bottom lanes.
Mickey started TPing right in front of them, so they just put the pin on him and committed onto him. So it's a little bit of an overzealous move that he tried to join down bottom and will get punished immediately from Ace and from Tofu.
Yeah, rare mistake from Mickey on his Prophet. Something that can happen, I guess, when you're watching the minimap, looking elsewhere, and not being too careful with the position that you're actually leaving your actual unit in. Mickey, it's got to be more careful against these 2 top.
And overall, I would say for Mickey, it is the first pick hero of this game, and it does feel like it does have a lot of counters in particular. We saw it struggle a couple times on this main stage as well. So we'll see how Mickey can endure. Just these heroes getting on top of him early.
Boxy trying to bring Nisha over to help them close the gap on towards Quinn. They come in with a TP from Mickey. This is the move you expect to see here at the 6-minute. Trying to punish the Ricky. Quinn, he'll jump over to the creep wave. The soul central will be dodged.
یعنی میره. تمام.
It takes 2 centuries, a dust, and a commitment from the Nature's Prophet. That is a lot to get this Ricky down, but a move that maybe was necessary to slow him down.
گرفتش.
Come in with a rotation, see if they can pick something more out of this early action. Liquid. Face down on towards Tofu, but indeed with the orb missing, Tofu's going to opt for the TP out. There's nothing to stop it. So Liquid, they won't find anything more.
Just trying to get involved though as much as possible. Get these early moves to just slow down.
چه بازی برابریه.
That amazing start. But yeah, a lot committed.
بعد بازی بر توضیح میدم.
Plus an extra rotation, and now Celery, he's felt the option to be able to actually move top and potentially play around Ace here.
And Ace, pretty terrifying already, of course, as the Underlord. We've seen so many times when he's on this hero. Once he gets the ball rolling, it definitely becomes this lane, this area that the opponents just don't really want to go to, and if they do, it just takes so much to try and slow down an Underlord when he's really hit his stride.
Yeah, and it's a standard Gaming Gladiators kind of draft, right? These auras are going to come, and they're going to come quick, so if you start losing these towers too early, those auras will come even faster, especially that pipe in particular for Ace that will come out, which is going to be pretty... Like, the damage from Liquid in the early game is pretty much all magical, besides that Visage plus the drinking buddies.
Heavy pressure being applied that at the moment isn't being matched quite yet by Liquid, yet to do that much damage at all to the safe lane tier 1 of Gaming Gladiators.
The nice thing though is that 33's actually just been able to sit bottom. He's top net worth on this Visage. We've seen a couple times this hero ganked and pushed out of lane a little.
Celery, nice grab there, takes over the Hellbear Smasher, gets a clapping on towards Insania. Tofu's in on top of him. Gaming Gladiators completely taking over Liquid's jungle. This top half of the map, not a safe place for Liquid to be. Over in the river, they've got the Dream Core. Mika comes in with the TP. Quinn did get the smoke screen down in time, and it's definitely helping him out. But is it enough to land a jump away? Tricks of the trade there.
چه فراری داره میکنه.
And he's able to get a regen rune as well. Liquid, they're desperately trying to find Quinn in the mid. Last time they succeeded. This time they don't get him fogged.
Oh, and he gets a regen too. They committed 4 heroes plus another dust, just trying to bring him down. They're really just trying to get rid of this rat. But Quinn, yeah, surviving, just staying under that smoke screen.
I mean, they're bringing in the action.
Uh-huh.
Collapsing in on mid. Ace is ready to come over with the ultimate. They want to try and take this fight. Gaming Gladiators.
Oh, Underlord اومد.
Now he's ready to turn. Has the control in on towards the tusk. Boxy to fall. Gaming Gladiators, they're feeling strong with the group up.
They lost the birds, the familiars. Both just get taken out immediately from the group up.
And they're ready to split back up straight away. Go back to farming. Ace will stick around in the mid. Putting this pressure on. I mean, they're just showing themselves, you know, Liquid, they can try and make these moves, but now, Gaming Gladiators, they will be ready to respond. And under the tower, Quinn's in with the tricks of the trade. Insania has already used the disruption. He's trying to juke around the tree line, but Quinn will find him. Another one for the Ricky. Celery, in return, does get caught out. Nisha Boxy and 33 pick him off to the side.
They're trying to match this tempo. Just, I mean, how many heroes are we seeing brought to the mid lane? But immediately, as that mid lane hole pressure happened, Daracho just bailed out. He's like, I don't want to stay around here. We're not going to get the tower. I know they're going to match us. So he goes back to farm.
Tofu is a little bit deep here.
Another soul assumption.
Oh, uphill miss, miss. Okay, well, that's going to cause some issues.
Huh?
Assumption
علی
will
یا
solve the issues.
با اون اچ نمیتونی تیپی بذاری.
33 able to finish up another and continue to just have this incredible amount of farm. Top net worth right now here on the Visage.
Yeah, he's having a great time. And we'll have always drinking buddies plus his familiars when it does come back up. Now the cooldown is back, so we'll have that one at the ready. The wards right now placed from gaming, it's very oppressive. So you can tell the type of game that they're liking to play, which they usually do, is apply pressure, take these early towers, and kind of snowball off of that. So Liquid responding nicely, and will be able to respond again. They've got Coil ready, and they've got Wrath of Nature. Every time they have these two ultis, it feels like they can try to match that tempo of gaming.
Nisha.
Got him.
Just in time. I wonder if that was going to be ones where they get the pickup and then deny at the same time, but not quite. Nisha able to take it out before Quinn gets the refuel. And Quinn, of course, working well on the way towards that diffusal blade.
اون قطعاً بازیکن سرتریه نسبت نیشا.
Keeping him in the sides a little bit longer, but they don't have any further lockdown beyond that. So Nisha still able to escape.
But every time he shows his face, Nisha's getting put below 50% HP, so the extra kill threat could come through that next jump. Nisha does have to be very cautious.
I mean, we might see that jump come in, maybe not towards him, but maybe towards the bottom instead. And as soon as they show their hand mid, make that play, Quinn and Tofu fall back.
They've got the Fiend's Gate ready.
Has been scanned out though.
Liquid has to be ready with the numbers, because the extra number can be brought from gaming from that Fiend's Gate. So Mike has to be at ready.
And with the scan hitting, looks like Liquid should not get caught off guard by this. Quinn's looking back towards the mid.
Sure.
And do have the Fiend's Gate, as you say, if you want to make this play over towards him. Silence just set things up. Good angle with the flame break. Keeps him in range of the stunners. Daracho. Tofu knowing perfectly how to hit these angles and get the most out of Quinn's smoke screens.
It's not your most traditional kind of way to lock down a puck. It's not a stun, but
it's a tricky one.
Into a knockback. It's beautiful. 3K lead off that. Now potentially be able to pressure this tower here, and they still have Fiend's Gate at the ready. So Liquid, difficult to be able to contest this one until Nisha does respawn.
And with this tower gold, if they're able to take in a bit more, Quinn's pretty much going to have the defusal coming out. A very quick time.
A devastating one for these supports, the Shadow Demon in particular, but Nisha is going to need some help, and I'm looking at his itemization right now. He is just queuing up normal Witchblade and stuff. Will need some type of answer to protect himself versus this Ricky early on.
I mean, with this Ricky getting this sort of a good start, do you imagine we'll see adaptation from the support item builds on Liquid to try and respond to this?
Probably. I mean, you're gonna need to just all Q4.
آلچی کرده سیکس خوب.
The shard's gonna be devastating at some point.
Behind the tower,
Daracho.
It's pretty deep here, but he's got backup from Ace. Comes in with a Fiend's Gate. Gaming Gladiators.
رفتن دنبالشون.
Has Liquid as well. 33 looking to push back Stereo here with the Soul Assumptions. Daracho turns, gets the stun, but the disruption save will be there. Fornisha buying him some time. The smoke screen persists. He'll get the orb off, jump out of the side, holds them back with a Dream Core, but the Flame Break hits. The final rank to come through. Tofu able to take Nisha down. Gaming Gladiators considering pushing him for more. Jump forward with the tricks of the trade. The snowball buys some safety for Boxy. He rolls over towards Tofu. Tofu, he has
توسکم گرفت.
lockdowns there. They bring in Boxy. Boxy to fall. Gaming Gladiators, they get two. They're even considering pushing it for more up to the tier 2. Finally, they'll hold back. Liquid, they'll be pushed right back away from this all. And each and every one of these fights, we're seeing both teams turn up in their numbers. But Gaming Gladiators, they've just got that extra little bit of power that is required to make sure they come out on top each and every time.
I mean, it's these auras. You can see that the damage, which was actually even pretty much across the board inside of this fight. 5,000 from both sides, but that little bit of extra sustain that you see that Gaming has. They've got the heal coming out from the Chen. He's got 4 of these auras blocking magic damage, giving extra HP regen, giving extra armor too. That's the difference maker. And now Quinn, the defusal is done. We'll see how much he wants to move up the priority of that shard since it can be great versus these shaves. But right now, Gaming, they're starting to get
ریکی دقیقه 13 بازی 1-1 با دیفیوژن.
Not at all, especially if Quinn gets away with this, going straight for the Ags after the defusal. His farm, his sort of net worth advantage, it's not going to stop unless Liquid can find
this protection. He cannot go down at the start of the fight. They need multiple different orbs, multiple different silences to come in. If he goes in like he did last time and just gets killed after one full set of spells, it's just not going to be enough for them to push Gaming away. I mean, now getting more auras. The Crimson now online.
It just feels whatever happens now at this stage, these next few minutes of
رفتن
play, I
روی
don't know if Liquid can look to fight because the damage, it's just not going to be there.
No, and Mickey, he is spotted. They're going to look to react up here, but the damage is quick. Can Boxy bail him out?
He's going to try, but there's only so much he can do. The Dream Buddy play will come in. It's not going to save him though. Mickey still to fall. Ace comes over with the Fiend's Gate. They're ready to punish Boxy as well. As Boxy, nobody here to help him out. As Gaming Gladiators, they're making it look pretty easy now, picking up kills, picking up objectives.
They're playing too fast, and Liquid, they're not prepared for
Liquid
it.
داره جر
to
میخوره.
react, but by the time that they TP react, it feels like it's too late. They have to be there at least with one of those extra heroes to bail someone out first. Gaming now gets a tier 2 at the 15-minute mark.
This is crazy.
چنش کاری نمیکنه.
Start accelerating very fast. Celery, I believe.
همه کارا داره توسط ریکی و بت و آندرلورد انجام میشه.
They only really have that boot to the bearing at the moment on 33, so not really that much damage mitigation coming out for them versus what is heavy damage from Gaming and heavy damage mitigation.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Even if Liquid land their spells, what sort of combo is there that they have right now that gets even close to threatening Gaming Gladiators in a 5v5?
به هر حال در نظر بگیر که جیجی همین الان یا به استاف تیری هم برده. رویش خیلی خوبه. یکی دیشب بازی داشت؟ دیروز؟ دیروز صبح بود. دیشب بود که دیروز.
See if they can find some of these pickoffs that they desperately need. Tofu, he'll get caught out. It's one quick one here for Liquid. Maybe see if they
don't
the Dream Coil setup. Quinn's been found. The follow of silence, they've got him completely locked down. Liquid, they find the chance here to strike at Gaming Gladiators one by one. And they get one of the big ones. Quinn, he's out.
ورقی برمیگردونه لیکوید تو این فایت. میدونی وقتی کل قدرتتون روی تیمتونه ریکی بس فرست بود، نزدیک آندرلورد بود. وقتی که اینجوری فایت میدید و میفته روی یه نفر، فوکس کردن و له کردنش کار خیلی سختی نیست.
Start getting more team fights though. More damage in particular for Mickey. I believe the Gleipnir is now going to be finished, so smaller tools to be able to enable them to take actual head-on 5v5s rather than just needing pickoffs.
Nisha.
Got their eyes on Nisha.
They're going to go for him right away.
Quinn, he's ready to lead in. Boxy is standing by his side, but how much can the Tusk do to save the pucks? Smoke screen's there. Fiend's Gate comes in. Drinking buddies will drag him out to the side. The pit catches onto the three of them. Dracho gets the pull back onto Insania.
چه اسپیسی کاشت واسش، چه استانی کاشت واسش. فوک ریشی زنده موند برگام. نه پاک دوباره گیر کرد. آندرلورد مرد. ریکی یکی بگیره. چه هیچ کاربردی نداره. واو چه فایتی بود. 10 ثانیه تو 5 ثانیه. چرا ریکی کاملا ببین چه صحنه قشنگی بود. این کشیدش، اینا بیخیال پوک شدن، رفتن رو شادو دیمن. چه استانی کاشت واسه نجات دادن این. دوباره استان دیگه کاشت رو اسنوبالش. ریکی کلن توی این فایت دیگه حضور نداشت. یعنی نگاه کنید ریکی هیچ توانایی نداره و اینا قشنگ پوک رو سکریفایس کردن واسه اینکه بتونن خودشون کارو در بیارن. یکی گل رو جلو افتادن. نه تاورای دوتا خیلی نمیزنه. در برابر تاورای لیگ خیلی بزن نیست.
Tofu's tempted to go see if he can get any sort of catch off to the side of the Fiend's Gate. It's coming in. Duracio is just completely caught alone there.
پورتال تو کاشتی میای؟
Try and pincer in Liquid, but Liquid just ends up catching Duracio alone. There's nobody by his side. The Fiend's Gate was laid down, but they weren't going to be able to get to him in time to help out.
They're still looking for the fight. Ace actually goes through this portal. Ace?
All right, he's pretty tanky. I mean, but they might
چه کار داره میکنه؟ احس رو تیپی کرد واقعا با پورتالش. وای گرفتش. شنالتیش هم زده. نه آندرلورد افتاد. بترایدر افتاد. ریکیو دارن میرن بگیرن. یه وارد کاشته شده زیر پای ریکی. ریکی بمیره خیلی خفن میشه. ریکی تمومه و شن هم که یونیته. شن قشنگ یونیته. چه بازی براشون در میاره تاسک. تاسک هرچی که شما میگید. راست میگه. آندرلورد قشنگ تیمش گوره. قشنگ نگاه کن اینجا توس مسیر رو بست. وایسادن نرفتن رو تاست. اشپی تاست کم شد. رسیدن بهش. تیمش هم رسید. یه دونه داست زده شد رو زمین. همینجا کار آندرلورد تموم میشه. بترایدر تو راه میمیره. ریکی فرار میکنه. یه سنتری میکنن زیر پاش. مجبور میشه برگرده تو فایت حداقل یه دمیجی بزنه. علیرغم فراری که میکنه پوک زیر پاش یه دونه یک میکاره و تموم. چنه بیرابوس ریک تو بازی. حتی بیشتر از یه سال. ولی به نصف کن چیز بدی نیست.
Gaiman has to be careful about these next few moments. They cannot make another mistake like that versus Liquid, or it's going to be difficult to recover. They literally hand-delivered Duracio in that fight and also Apes afterwards. They're going to go for this roast.
بچه شن الان به یه دردی میخوره. سولار کرستش اومده.
Smoke coming out from Gaming Gladiators. They're going to look to try and swing across towards the mid, but indeed with the movements from Nisha over
بعده که
Roshan and the rest of his team, unlikely that they actually get a catch here. They could look to continue to swing down and
he saves. And Liquid now with this momentum, they're on the high ground. These towers drop very fast. There's no glyph.
Well, let's see how much they can push it. They've got the Aegis ready, of course, and McKay's ready to frontline. Gladiators, they have got lasso potential to try and punish overextensions. Tier 3's gone.
ایجس گرفتن رفتن واسه پوش. آندرلورد گرفتش.
There's the dream coil from Nisha. Jay, you've got to only imagine the Liquid want to try and go for more. Mickey is actually
Salam
going
Kosa.
to start dealing with the top, but of course teleportation will be at the ready if they want to go for round 2 here on the bottom lane.
They can always look to re-go.
باورش رفت.
Damon has to be careful how far they step out here. The Orchid is ready on Daracho for that extra.
دریم کویلو ندارن.
They should have
آلتی شاد دیمن رو دارن، آلتی تیسک رو دارن. تیم انمی فقط سیکه یکی آلتی نداره. آلتی بت رایدر میتونه خیلی واسهشون خطرناک باشه.
Start to quickly swing even more. Mickey is just going to keep growing, and the CK is not be able to get outside the map in a similar fashion.
Mickey about halfway.
هیروز جدید دادن تو دوتا.
Having what the 3.5 minutes on the Aegis, very likely he's going to have that window where he'll have both BKB and Aegis to try and push forward and look to take a set of racks away from Gaming Gladiators.
And Liquid playing it very smart. They're just sweeping across toward the map, not giving them an opportunity to look for this Nature's Prophet to find some type of kill. Quinn now will have that shard finished, so that extra minus armor, the prevention of any of these saves that can come out on that smoke screen target. Maybe Gaming's gonna look to make a move off of that. If they can lasso somebody, catch them inside of that one, they could.
هیروی جدید دادن بچه‌ها تو دوتا به اسم کز. ببخشید. کز. کنم کریه. آره این بست اف 5 در واقع بست اف 6 ولی خب بازی 5 تایی تمام میشه دیگه. هر کسی که به ستابون برسه. فعلا که دارن دامینیت میکنن انمی رو.
Even though there is this shard, of course, on this Ricky, they're preparing for this next move that could come out from Gaiman.
نه کز یه هیرویه که شبیه عقابه و شمشیر داره.
Waiting, sensing if Gaming Gladiators do try and lead the charge here with Quinn.
Hey, they're just playing smart. They're sitting on top of a sentry. So if Quinn does walk up too far, could just get burst down instantly via its call from a coil.
Looks like Quinn knows, playing to the edge of the map.
Sneaky, sneaky. Will clear the wave, does show himself for a second, the dust, not quite in range.
They're not gonna quite clip him. Quinn playing perfectly sneaky. Did the damage output stepping up here? That's a full Parasma now on Nisha.
Just steps up the aggression, feels like he doesn't need to have that defense anymore. He is very tanky with the Pupil's Gift. It is a 2500 HP puck.
I mean, Liquid's ready to go. If he can get the catch it, Quinn turns to the smoke screen, falls forward for Nisha, able to jump forward, get the dream call up on it.
دریم کویلی انداخته، هم شنو گرفته هم ریکی رو گرفته. طبیعتا شنم که اصلا کاربردی نداره. و آندرلورد رو هم احتمالاً تمومش کرده. تموم. حتی مجبور نشدن از آنخشون استفاده کنن. سیکه احمد.
This is going to be such a strong push. A minute left on the Aegis. A full BKB coming out from Mickey.
And these racks are dead. The birds plus this tree, it just dies in a heartbeat.
And they can look for more. They'll take the top set. They're ready to swing across over towards the mid here, Liquid.
It feels like they've probably done it here. I mean, still 20 seconds for the Underlord, the one who can deep-push. The Glyph is popped, but they're sending treants even down toward bottom.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere, Liquid.
They're like, oh, Gaiman, you like to play with your 25-minute timings? Well, so do we. 26 minutes. They're looking to potentially close this out here.
They've really sort of turned the game on its head if you consider what we were seeing in the first 10 minutes of this one. Liquid hitting back harder than ever here. Daracho's going to try and start some action, but the BKB comes down for 33. Illusions will remain on 33, and they have the lasso as well, dragging in the Visage. 33, is there going to be any sort of save for him? There is not. 33 will fall.
چیزی بد گرفتن. البته بازم براتون ارزششو داشت. نمیخوان به برگردن عقب. دوباره دریم کویل همه رو گرفته. توسی تمومه. بدون آندرلوردشون نمیتونن فایت بدن. ریکی دوباره مرد. یه پوش ریز بیارن ریکی بای بک کرده. شاید آندرلورد. چرا فیز نکرد؟ چرا رفت تو؟ اوه شیت. واو.
Quinn. Gaming Gladiators and Quinn, he knows he's got to look for whatever chance he can to punish back on a Liquid. Tries to make the jump over the horses, but Mickey also in with the buyback. The smoke screen's down. Quinn, he
وای لیکی دوباره مرد.
75 seconds.
کوین دوباره مرد.
Quinn's gone. This is likely Megas. Can Ace hold on to it? They've got a buyback from Duraccio.
پسر داده قشنگ نیشا داده دست این یارو ریکیه.
Yes, they know there's no Quinn for a minute.
نیشا قشنگ داده دست کوین.
How much can they take? Liquid
خوشم میاد ویزش به تو خوش حدیث واسطه داره باراکس رو سره.
still being very careful indeed, respecting the catch from Bat.
It's just tough because the double saves Mickey.
وای بزنید اون انو.
He's up in 4 seconds.
It's the mid-rack
آره
shot.
کله
Liquid
تمام.
Well said.
I'll tick off another
بالا رو گرفتن دارم میرن سراغ
ready to
پایین.
keep it going. 30 seconds, they know there's no Quinn.
It dies so fast.
بازی 4-5 معلومه همه چیتونم ردیه.
Just watch these racks go to Megas.
Tofu is going to try with the grab and the disruption.
اوه تافو گرفت چیزو.
Try desperately gaming
گرفت.
Gladiators. Find them. Hand of goal comes out, but it won't
و آندرلورد دوباره مرد. آجی سوراخ کرده ای.
tries to sneak back to the safety of the fountain. He'll get back. But the racks are
ویزیج رو پوک واقعا سوراخ کرده.
Megas, good luck coming back from that one versus this type of lineup, and I don't think Liquid's gonna look to get out of the base. They still got 30 seconds to keep the push going.
They know that they can get so much done
They
here.
call it.
Oh, they do.
جی جی.
GG is called.
GG.
Liquid. I mean, what a phenomenal game one.
چه بازی کردم. بچه حتی ارزش نداره بقیه تیر نگاه کنید.
Liquid, there was no looking back, folks.
I think they really started to identify it quite quickly.
اسم این بازی 2 تا 2 بیزار.
Bottom fight.
عجب بازی کرد. یه بار دیگه بهتون ثابت شد بچه صدا رو کم کنم. یه بار دیگه بهتون ثابت شد که شن هیرو چرتیه. بازی سازی ساپورت های لیکوید رو دیدید دوست داشت چجوری بازی میکرد. خدایی دیدید شادو دیمن چه اسی سیف داد از پوک. پاک پوک چی میگید شما؟ یعنی واقعا دارم بهتون میگم اگر یه روزی احساس کردید که این بازی نیازمند اینه که یه هیروش کامل ریورک بشه اون هیرو شنه. به هیچ دردی نخورد. شنشون به هیچ دردی نخورد. یعنی اینا از لحظه‌ای که آخرو گرفتن رفتن تو بیس حریف اول پایین انداختن بعد بالا رو انداختن و وسط رو انداختن و دوباره باراکس وسط رو انداختن و باراکس پایین رو انداختن و بازی رو تموم کردن. به نوبت هم میکشتن. یعنی قشنگ اینجوری بود که تو اجازه میداد که اینا بیان تو یه نفر رو میگرفت. آندرلورد به اون تانکی رو دیدید چجوری خوردن تو بازی. به یارو واسه من رفته چمپیک کرد. هایلایت بازی رو ببینید.
I mean, Gaiman played a really incredible early.
اینجا رو نگاه کن. ریکیو
Coming out of both teams, they really took advantage of their diffusal.
چیکار میخواد بکنه؟
Hunting for Furion deep in the jungle.
اینجا این صحنه دوتا استانی که تاسکاش یه دونه واسه نجات دادن شادو دیمن، یه دونه این سکانس، یه دونه هم اینجایی که دوباره میرن رو شادو دیمن. نگاه کن دوباره اینا نجات داد. آجی مگه میشه ساپورت انقدر یوزفول باشه؟ بعد در تمام این مدت بچه‌ها شن یه آلتی کرده بهشون 150 تا HP داده.
They needed all the auras early on so they can take the fights. Visage, he's
نگاه کن قشنگ شنه وایساده اونجا و لای درختای چیز هیچ کاربردی نداره.
top two here already. Some really placed, really nicely placed shards from Boxy. He's playing out of his mind. This drinking buddy is pretty much acting
اصلا
as a
پیک
force staff.
درستی
He can
نبود.
use it on bird, so the birds
ارلیه اذیت کردن خدایا.
fight, and the coil has been
پاک خداوکیلی اول بازی بعد اذیتش
any
کردن.
tools to deal with, 'cause Ricky, yeah, he's
نگاه کن علیرغم تمام تلاشی که کرد نگاه کن نیشه چجوری دهنش رو سرویس کرد. برگام ریخته. خداوکیلی لیکوید خیلی تیمه. با وجود اینکه اینا قشنگ به قول یارو کستره اول بازی اینا آندرلوردشون بیگانشون رو اول بازی کشیدن بیرون. آندرلورد پیک یکشون بود یا همین که پیک شو گفت آره معلومه که بیگانشون رو میکشن ولی همین بیگانشون سوتی داد. همون جایی که روی پورتالی که کاشته بود تلپورت کرد. نگاه چه جوری دارن بازی میکنن ورسز اینا. یعنی بت رایدر اومد ویزیج رو برداشت برد. ویزیج اینجا مرد. خب همشون گفتن اوکی بریم دنبال اینا تا وسط بازی کردن، همینو چرخیدن رو آندرلورد. انمی اصلا نرسید به آندرلورد هلپی بده. قبل از اینکه اتفاقی بیفته آندرلورد بدبخت مرده بود. یعنی با وجود حضور سیکه اینا بازم فایتو گرفتن. آندرلورد اینجا باید بایبک میکرد بچه. اگه قبول اتفاقی بیفته اینجا باید آندرلورد بایبک میکرد. تلپورتش هم داشت، باید برمیگشت وسط فایت. باز دوباره نگاه کنید اینجا بت رایدر هیچ کاربردی نداره. وقتی پایک اومده روش واقعا سیکه هیچ کاربردی نداره. واقعا بازی خفنی کردن. دمشون گرم. عجب بازی کردن.
They're hoping for a pick. It felt like the last 10 minutes of the game was just Liquid sweeping through the map, finding whoever they want, and Gaming was never really in position to utilize like the blink from the bat, the jump of a CK, and again, it's testament to Liquid. They itemize, they identify a window, and when they want to break their opponent, and they did it so swiftly.
Yeah, and we knew that Gaming was ahead at like minute 15, but Lacoste, was their plan to be even further ahead? Where did they fall with their plan?
I saw Tofu diving through 4 towers 8 minutes in, so they wanted to play this hyper aggressive, which I don't really mind. I think this is how you need to strike back against Team Liquid. But the problem was, I'm going to go back to Ricky. This is super strong hero, but that's why everybody practiced it. But it has some of the flaws still where you're unable, like, to get focused down. And I also want to highlight the Shiva's guard, the bongo boots, the boots of bearing from Visage. I think this is the key moment as well for the game. You're playing against CK, so you want to slow down his illusions. You really never felt those illusions dealing damage, fighting into all of that. And I said during the draft, they don't have the Shiva's hero. You know what Visage does? Buys Shiva's as the second item, buying all these small items to be on top of the network pretty much. Bracer, Null Talisman, Boots of Bearing, so they can strike back. He understands that they need any kind of item they can have early on to punch back because they're playing so fast on Gaming first 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, and you see the items that 33 has. I think, you know, strategically, I think Gaming coming into this game one, they put such a large target on Nisha's back. They wanted to shut him down. They wanted to kill him very early. You know, try and prevent him from having a game. That they kind of forgot about.
چه بازی کرد جلوشون. نیشا و ویزج بازی رو خوردن.
Right? Like when you think about like the previous run in playoffs, like he's been like the unkillable mid laner because people focus.
آموزش رو بذارم میخوام یه دقیقه فوش خار مادر بدم.
You know, coming into this one, Nisha, in the last 6 playoff games, totaling, he only has 10 deaths. The fact that he's died 4 times in a single game shows that Gaming wanted to shut him down. But maybe going into game 2, they're thinking, wait a second, we're wasting too many resources killing the mid lane. 33's hit, like Lacoste was mentioning, the Boots of Bearing, the Shivas, Mickey's got the Gleipnir, the BKB. I think Gaming maybe have a misread on who they need to shut down because it doesn't matter if Nisha dies 4 times, nearly 50% of the entire playoffs run, you need to stop 33 from just breaking open the game on these tempo heroes from the offlane.
Yeah, there was a lot of freedom coming out for the other 2 cores of Team Liquid there, Effie.
There was, but there was pressure on them because once Ricky got that defusal, we saw them scouting for Nature's Prophet in the jungle. We saw him getting lassoed a few times. We saw Quinn on that Ricky hunting anyone he could see, no longer focusing on just the puck. The issue with Gaiman is that Ricky kind of tied their entire draft together in the sense that you have this Bat Rider, you have this jump target, this jump hero in CK. If the Shadow Demon on the enemy team or the Tusk are able to cast their spells to save them, your initiation is broken. You have no means to fight back. And once Ricky got to the point where his game was too difficult, there was nobody stopping the 2 saves from the supports. If Ricky kept his dominance, kept jumping the supports, we would have seen a different game.
Ricky has pretty much the same issues as we've seen with the Storm Spirit. Once they group up as 5, you don't really have kind of a play in the game. Cloud is super strong. It's a 6-second silence duration at every single level. It gets even better. It got a buff so you can stand inside of the cloud even if the allies, even if the enemies range are attacking you from the inside, you're still going to get the miss chance. So really good spell. The experiment for Ricky probably failed. I don't think we're going to see it again, but it looked really good for the first like 12-13 minutes of the game.
It did, and then it fell off a cliff. That happens sometimes. It's fine. It's just game 1 of a best of 5.
تورنمنت دارن ولی تیاری ندارن.
No, during that game, once Team Liquid got off a couple of good team fights, you could sense that emotions were high and everybody was in great spirits. And I wonder if the comms reflect.
ولی خودمونیم چه کامبکی کردن. اولش لیکوید وضعش خوب نبودا.
Watch me. Yeah, I'm fine, guys. Take the fight. What the fuck? They're all dying. big flower. I have big flower.
Ricky. Any silence? Okay,
I'm chasing Ricky.
I'll kill Chen.
I think we get the Ricky.
I'm killing Chen with Nish.
Let me.
Oh, sorry.
Can we go tier 2?
Oh, you gotta love it if
Give
your
him the
carry is
woo,
popping up like
woo.
that. I think that's very healthy when your carry is making those calls, T, and just basically pops up and keeps the team.
I gotta say, his name
چقدر
is making
قیافه همین ناش
you know,
غریبه.
gotta hype it up.
It's the balance between like the core and the support. You can hear like this, like maybe I don't have anything. It doesn't matter if you have nothing. I'm the core. Go and then
go.
Yeah, exactly. I just love hearing the team comms every single time, and a little bit of energy as well. Hearing the emotion, the woo, like of course it means so much to them. And it's game 1 down, just 2 more to go.
2 more to go for Team Liquid. I love hearing the emotions coming out there as well. I also always love hearing from Purge.
Thanks, Shiver. Yeah, I want to look over how the Ricky did in this game. It's very effective against the puck in the mid lane. Quinn started things off. He's got high damage. Puck has low armor.
همون حرفی که بهتون زدم خیلی ارلی گیم اذیتش کرد. فرست بلاد هم گرفت ازش.
As that laning stage continues, and then does a little blink strike. This clip might freeze on me because it's been freezing before, but does a little tricks of the trade does work. Thank you. That's how he gets the first blood. 1 minute and 54 seconds into the game, super early. And Liquid did a really good job trying to limit what this Ricky can do because the silence against puck and the high physical damage is so much. They were bringing tons of heroes to almost every single fight, but he has really high base armor, and there isn't that much magic nuke on the Liquid squad at this stage in the game, so he ends up.
اونم قشنگ در رفت. شانسش هم خورد به باف ریجن.
Salvation outside of the smoke cloud, but he gets pushed back in with the flame break to secure yet another kill. And then they went across the map. This is that other kill that you guys probably saw. Nature's Prophet getting jumped on by just 2 heroes. A relatively clean kill, and once again Underlord crossing the map. So this is the basic facet of what Gladiators wanted to do this game to end up securing victory, but this team fight was the real big one. There's only 6 times in a row that you can gank Nisha before you react to it really well, and that's what Liquid did here. I love this ice shards here. Ends up
اصلا این صحنه عالی بود.
The shadow demon to the right, and as a result, the Ricky dives going for the kill, and they're able to turn this one really effectively.
دقیقاً از همینجا بود که اصلا موجهای سرنوشت این بازی تغییر کرد. دختر مشکی خوبه چشتی گرفته. قیافه‌هاشون عجیبه. من شما هیچ کسی رو نمیم.
But they're chasing, and he gets
Sure, that's
scared.
pretty
He uses
good.
the second skill, and that reveals where he is. They end up catching him. They force a team fight.
یعنی اینجا اندرلورد رید.
He gets coiled. This was the beginning of the end for Gladiators, losing their advantage. So a crucial mistake there, uncharacteristically as well. So that's how they get behind.
Thank you, Purge. Very tiny bit of nerves coming out there from Gaming Gladiators, the way that those plays were described. I think there's one important thing that this game had that I don't think other games will have. It's time to go back to the drawing board and talk about the draft, because I want to talk about the one point where I thought, in my humble opinion, where things went a little bit awry, and I would love to have an explanation. Lacoste, Rubik. We saw the Rubik ban. Why didn't they ban Tusk?
Because they wanted to pick Underlord. It's one of the worst matchups when it comes down to heroes. You can solo win the game. You steal Pit of Malice, you steal Firestorm. These are going to be your 2 best spells. You have better cast range, you have spell amplification on top of that. So very difficult one, but looking for the adjustments in game number 2, this Tusk, too powerful of a hero, especially for Boxy. I know I'm going to sound slightly biased, but Boxy for me has been the best position 4 player in the world for quite some time. He's doing some insane things every single time with the shards. He's always up to something. Never underestimate this guy.
He was the hero of that fight at minute 17 where Liquid turned the game around. That was all Tusk and his plays. So I do agree with you, Shiver, that Tusk should be banned out and not given to Team Liquid. Boxy just plays that hero too well, and the flex is still there even though we mainly see it being played here. I think that if you're putting yourself in a position where you're first picking Underlord, not allowing yourself to not give away Tusk to Liquid, you have to rethink your opener. Don't open with this Underlord if you are still allowing heroes like Shadow Demon and Tusk through, because you also drafted a Batrider. Batrider is completely countered by saves from the enemy supports.
I think it also goes down to the CK pick, right? Like, sure, you want to get your CK to kill Visage, but then you're bringing the CK to the mid lane to, you know, contain the puck inside the smoke screen, using the flame break from the Batrider as well. Like, you're doing everything to kill puck, but you didn't ever really kill Visage. He died one time in the game. The fact that 22 minutes, 33 has Boots of Bearing and Shivas, your entire plan of win lanes, tempo pick-off falls apart. So for Gaming to even have a fight in this best of 5, they need to make sure their safe lane can kill off 33. And don't just run to mid lane and kill off Nisha. That is a recipe to lose, and Gaming need to identify that and hopefully fix that for the upcoming game.
Yeah, so we feel like Gaming potentially drafted a little bit too one-dimensional, that if indeed the tempo could not continue, which it didn't because Team Liquid put a stop to that, they didn't have anything Lacoste to fall back on in their draft.
They were super strong first like 15-ish minutes of the game. If they continued the domination, the lineup would look really good, but they also needed some extra items. They needed, Ricky to have a BKB, which never came down to that. And we see a lot of these lineups that go pretty much all in, where you're strong for like 20 minutes, then you're vulnerable between 25 and 35, maybe 40, that they do fell short. But I wouldn't say there was anything wrong with Gaming Gladiators lineup. They tried something. It's a BO5. That's a different beast. You want to experiment a little bit more, try to put them in a position where they don't feel too comfortable, especially with this last pick, Ricky. And I think we're going to see more of these picks. Maybe not Ricky, but they've been cooking.
They have been cooking. We should also take a look at how the teams have done against. Why we see these two teams going a little bit beyond what you might have seen over the last 2 weeks. Effie, if we focus on Team Liquid, they have had tremendous success against the heroes that a lot of teams would consider to be the meta heroes.
They really have. They've been dominating so much throughout this tournament, so I thought it would be cool if we took a look at the meta heroes that they've beat the most. Murana, which is the darling from the support role because of the carry flex, they've beat her. She's only beat them 1 time out of 6 games. Dragon Knight, 2 of which were games against Gaming yesterday. They have beat Dragon Knight 4 times. They beat Timbersoft 4 times. The heroes they've lost to, Kunkka. Kunkka's probably the only hero when I was looking at all of their stats.
عکس قشنگ است. کز به دستم رسید. هیروی جدید دوتا دو. بچه هیروی جدید دوتا رو بیاید ببینید. هیروی جدید بازیه.
We are just going to see 2 teams clashing into each other to see who breaks the map first to then close out the game. Because if you swap the drafts around, Gaming will do the same thing. They'll win that.
غرق نشدم بابا. دارم پست میذارم. من همزمان دارم استریم میکنم، کانتنت میسازم، استوری میذارم. گذاشتم داداش برو لاک.
With this type of draft, it is so volatile. One misexecution and see ya.
Yeah, this is also a best of 5, which is a whole different beast from what the players have played so far, as they are ready to take the stage again. Game number 2 soon being shown on your screens. I'm sure emotions are high, and all the energy that this Royal Arena has to give, both teams will soak up because they need it to go head-to-head against each other. And when we're focusing on this second game, we are focusing on the learning curve, which in a best of 5 is a little bit different than in a best of 3 Lacoste. Do you feel like both of these teams, sometimes you have teams like testing the waters, letting a hero through to see if they can play against it?
Absolutely, because you want to have that advantage. You pick something very cheesy in game 1. If it works, they need to make all the adaptation, but you have also other strategies prepared. I would say Team Liquid is in a good hands right now, considering that they only played 5 different heroes from their offlane role and 5 different heroes from their position 4 role. So that means that they have a lot of stuff prepared. They've been winning most of their games. They played every single series in the upper bracket was a 2-0, so they didn't show. They were never had their backs against the wall. That means that they have a lot of different heroes they can still play, but they're not going to change anything because for now it is working.
But that also means that 10 unique heroes from their offlane in Boxy and 33 should make it so that they are easier to focus within a draft. And that really does go back to the supports that Gameman went through. I think that if you can limit the hero pool of 1 out of the 2 in that offlane duo, you're making the draft and the game much easier on yourself.
So, yeah, who are you going to focus on? If you had to choose, pick your poison, T.
I mean, there's what, 5 types of poison you have to take, but I'd argue maybe because they have such a small pool, you know what's coming every single time. So find safe lane combinations that can at least play into it, right? Like Dyrachyo, he's played, of course, Alchemist, but it's getting banned out. I think like Razor's going to be pretty good for Dyrachyo if you could have pressure in lane. If you push back 33, I just want Celery and Dyrachyo to have kill threat. If kill threat independently is available, that's when the twin gate gets opened up. You then make moves, and I think that's what maybe Gamer was missing.
It could be that they were missing that. We're talking about adaptations being made, and of course it is Gaming Gladiators that lost that first game, so they will be focused most on making adaptations. And even though Team Liquid won, I do want to focus a little bit on those first 10 minutes because Team Liquid winning, great, but I'm sure they did not like feeling like they did in those first 10 to 15 minutes, Lacoste. I'm sure they're going to try to avoid that.
Oh, that's for sure. I mean, they were, what, 7K goal down in the first 11, 12 minutes, so they will try to punch back. A little bit of a misplay. Sometimes it does happen. You know, Nisha solo dying to Ricky, underestimated.
اگه بیاد بلافاصله
He
میذارمش.
played as many times this matchup. Casters also talked about it. They didn't see it in a really long time. So sometimes these forgotten heroes, you tend to be surprised by what they can do, especially with the small buffs throughout the last couple of months that did happen.
I think that's a hero that they will think about for sure, especially if
با
you
اکت
use
چهارم.
puck in this game too. I would not be surprised at all to see Ricky banned out in that final phase because even though Gaimin did lose, they showed their hand there. Like that, it was an incredibly dominant first 15 minutes. In for Liquid, they just did a great job at bouncing back. The two heroes they had on their side lanes, Nature's Prophet and Visage, are just very good money printers. Visage with a couple of kills.
شبیه ایرانی هستیم قیافش.
Nature's Prophet, when he gets kicked out of lane, he has that ability to just be anywhere he needs to be. The enemy jungle, his jungle, he can find the farm. So I think that Liquid at the moment are feeling very good about themselves looking into that game too, and they're not going to make any gameplay adjustments, just draft adjustments.
Yeah, I can see a world where Gaimin respect the Nature's Prophet a little bit more, put that into the ban phase. Maybe even we see the Naga Siren that's been banned pretty much in every single game of TI. That might slip through in one game, just to put a little bit more respect on 33.
شبیه امیره.
Think it will slip through in
شبیه امیری راست میگی.
Probably Liquid will be picking it up.
They will be picking it up.
Potentially.
Okay, we'll see. I don't know if Naga Siren will make an appearance, as this is the most dominant hero that we've seen over the last 2 weeks. But we're going to find out what is coming our way for a game number 2.
Team Liquid.
این کارو ببینیم. بچه من متاسفانه نمیتونم همه بازی رو براتون استریم کنم چون دارم میرم سر کار.
Grand Finals. Game 2.
What is coming our way for game number 2, Effie?
I got a little too excited there, Steamers, but
بهنای اول بازی رو داریم. لوندرو در الکمیست and King Brood.
The reason why these semi-carry ranged heroes like Wind Ranger, like Lina, have been so popular is they get that Gleipnir timing and then they have kill threat around the map. If all of this damage is happening in the first 15 minutes, you want a carry that within that time can take advantage of it economically and be able to join the fight explosively.
If they want to go for a carry, I would not mind to see Wind Ranger for Dyrachyo. If they want to go for a support, Mirana is still available, so they do have a ban into a pick. Either that or take Shadow Demon, because Shadow Demon, played by Tofu, always a 3 to watch. This guy making some insane plays, hunting people down.
Well, there is a Naga
he was still
Siren, and it
available.
will be on Gaming Gladiator's side, T-Gov.
Fair play. So the logic of this one was, I feel like this is where, when you get to a grand finals, the heroes that always get banned, they have to appear at some point, because there is like the respect of the game. And here, Gaimin, they have first pick, they ban the Village, the Doom, the Naga Siren's available. I was wondering maybe they could give it to Liquid, pick a hero themselves, but instead, they take it, and Liquid instant response with the Nature's Prophet.
Naga Siren is so hard to play against though. I mean, she's been banned almost every game for a reason. She has such high armor on lane where she doesn't lose trades. She provides map play with her illusions where as a position 5, she can push out whichever lane that she chooses. And she has the ultimate reset tool in the game. That Song of the Siren with the shard is, it just flips teamfights over their head. And like T was mentioning, we saw that the Kunkka win rate against Liquid is good for that reason. If they can prolong these fights, find that reset, stop that timing of their aggression, kite out the fights, should be good for gaming. So I'm surprised this Naga was given away.
I mean, of course, the facet as well, very strong. With Deluge, you reduce status
ببخشید
resistance.
من سر کار با من تماس
like, it is
میگیرم
really
دوباره
fun to play into.
لیکوید
But there is a world where,
نیچر
like,
پرافتش رو
if
کشیده
Gaimin
ناگا
is
هم
playing
کشیده
Naga,
شد
she likes a little bit more of a Let me use my song for that one big fight. Let me, you know, get the vision from multiple opportunities to skirmish. If the game's too quick, it's like you're not always gonna have song every single fight. That's why I think Liquid insta-pick their profit, because the speed in which they can play with this hero, they can eat through, you know, one ultimate from a Naga Siren. Like, it's not gonna be the worst. That's why I think gaming need to respect that inevitable pressure and have more heroes to protect Naga, not having to be the only hero to survive the fight, or at least, you know, disengage from the fight.
Naga is also a hero that can stop some of these pushes while creep cutting, creating those illusions. You cut one creep wave, maybe two of them. One of the reasons why the hero is so popular is you get quite a lot of farm. This is one of the most farm-heavy position 5s in the game right now, I would say, and also one of the reasons why this hero is the most contested hero of the International.
And another strength of Naga is Ensnare is such a high value disable at level 1. Like, this hero's kill threat comes online very early on. So I'd like for Gaming to take advantage of this setup with one of those Droughtier turret heroes. Even Alina could be really cool here. Just any kind of follow-up damage to make it so that Naga isn't just a song.
Shadow Demon being picked up. Team Liquid got one of the saving supports again. As we do have to note that once again, Tusk is left in the pool. Gaming Gladiators have the chance to pick it up themselves if they want to at this point.
Yeah, that's the key thing here. Liquid, they had the option to go for Tusk or Shadow Demon. They have put Shadow Demon a higher priority because of what we've seen it do in the last couple of games. And if Gaming are to pick Tusk, then they've got double melee supports. Naga can't really find, you know, too much pressure on the map. Tusk, it could get a little bit clunky. Hence why I think Liquid hedged their bets, went for the Shadow Demon. If Gaming don't pick it up, they'll take it themselves.
And also, Shadow Demon is the anti-Ace hero. If you're playing against Ace, he's gonna have a trillion auras. With the Shadow Demon Purge, you can just remove that on a single target and take them out early.
Yeah, but not in this one. Centaur, he has, with the Stampede, this is the statement. This is not anti-carry. Shadow Demon ulti, we don't care too much about it. Once you pop it, we're going to be able to reset. You also have Naga Siren. So Gaming Gladiators looking forward to see some of these more prolonged team fights.
And once again, they're respecting what Naga Siren can suffer with, because they're picking heroes who, in theory, should be independent, not requiring heroes to help them out. Centaur plus ranged hero, when you get Centaur to his first cheap item, you can leave him on an island. He can play by himself. And
Fuck you, God.
Moves. And Enchantress. How many times have we seen Enchantress just free cast the spells? You know, Impetus constantly, Dragon Lance, Moon Shards. I feel like Snaking, Celery, like every plus 5 at some point has just had an insane game on this hero.
Now, I will say that Naga Siren has been incredibly popular, but mostly as a position 5. And you are also right, it is normally Celery that plays the Enchantress. So which one would you like to see bumped up in priority? As once again, the Tusk in the hands of Team Liquid. So they got the double saving support, and they follow that up with the 33 Bristleback, or Mickey Bristleback.
Yeah, but with this draft that Liquid have crafted, it's skirmish, 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 run at you, run at you, run at you, and there are no stuns on the side of Liquid. So I want to see Gaming, with this 18 pick, exploit the lack of stuns and go for a Storm or a Puck themselves. Something that can have free reign at later parts of this game.
Slight concern potentially for Gaming competitively. Tofu, the last time he played Enchantress was in 2023. Before that was only a game 2019. He's only got 4 pro games on Enchantress, so it's not as if it's like a specialty for Tofu. And I feel like Naga Siren is always going to be the 5 position, unless Tofu wants to bump it up in priority. Again, I feel like Naga
برات Enchantress دقیقاً پیستل بک پیک شده.
Yeah, Tofu's going to be pulling out a hero that he's not too at least competitively seasoned.
برای Enchantress تاسک و پیستل بک پیک شده.
Celery lane bottom. He doesn't necessarily have to go top if you are committing to playing this Naga Siren on Tofu.
Sure. And now the counter-aggression pick with the puck. You want to try and, you know, prevent that movement from Liquid. My concern here, where is the damage? When Liquid gets to like Bloodstone, Axe on Bristle, and Prophet has his BKB, what stops them from just walking down the lane, hitting the tower with a tree, Tusk and SD saving? There's no real kill threat coming out from Gaming.
Get that Luna for Duraccio. I mean, you need bonus damage. She provides that damage to the entirety of your team. She's going to be a strong on lane versus Bristleback, and it'll give them that early tempo to play on. Also, like I mentioned earlier, no stuns for the puck, so I do think that Team Liquid need to draft a failsafe, a means to stop Quinn if his game starts to get out of hand.
الان اگه لونا پیک کنه خیلی خفنی میشه.
Monkey King type option for Gaming to take a little bit more fight. I'm worried like a Luna is a bit too slow, where after lane you play to the jungle, and there's no real map play to be had. Invading stacks, invading, like contesting is a key theme for gaming, at least in this one.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing some stunners from the mid lane for Team Liquid. Earthshaker definitely comes to mind. We're playing against Naga. There's going to be a lot more illusions. Instant stun against Puck is something that they did play once or twice against the same matchup. The other one is Tiny. I think this hero also works because you want to have some extra burst damage when it comes down to the Enchantress. Avalanche, great tool against the Centaur, and also you can toss somebody into the team. Bristleback is not answered yet.
I just realized, yeah, Monkey's banned, so... Ah, well. But that type of hero, and
Dorsal
on that line of that type of hero, Ursa banned out as well. We haven't really seen too much Ursa, but they are respecting the thought of, what if this core just blows up our Bristle? If we don't actually end the game in 20 minutes, it's pretty scary, and yeah, they're banning out these heroes that have that X factor, that comeback potential. And that is true. Voxy on Tusk is pretty free win.
I like the
80% win rate dاره
or
Voxy.
DK for Team Liquid. Just that stun, that ability to play off of an initiation that doesn't come from your Tusk will simplify the game for Liquid. It will really go a long way.
Well, let's see. They have got still also half a minute left in their bonus time, where they can decide not just what to play, but what their game plan will be. And what Daracho is going to play. That is the main question. And I just want to get this out. Naga Siren, there's no chance is going to play it as a core, right?
No, she's not. This is going to be
I just wanted to get it out there.
It's been a long time since Naga has been played as a core.
Another option for Daracio could be the Alchemist. That way they can play the End 5 and then
bad.
Alchemist mi bane. Ahmak Alchemist bane.
They took it away. I think this is excellent. And now they have a carry on Daracio where he just buys Blink Dagger first, which is the item timing we talked about around that minute 15, runs in with his team, has the ability to take the towers, has the ability later on in the game to outscale the Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, this is a good game where there's two types of Dragon Knight, right? You've got the Falcons type Dragon Knight, which is the high-speed Blink Orchid, or you have the scaling Dragon Knight with the Armlet into S&Y, and then you're like Daedalus Satanic, and you become the unkillable Red Facet DK. Potentially this time around, I'd like to see him go greedy.
بچه هر جایی که استریمم قطع بشه رفتم. هر جایی که قطع بشه رفتم چون بعد برم سر کار.
For Elite's gaming's sake, it does feel like a flip on the script. They aren't going to be the aggressors on the map. It's about how quickly can you scale whilst dealing with Liquid.
What you're describing is some K1.
Yeah, I want K1 level DK, exactly.
Yeah, because he was staying 5k ahead, and Tiny comes out, good solution, as we mentioned, great against Puck in the lane. You'll always have some kind of a stun, cheap as well. Blink Dagger, this is something that they have been lacking. I see a lot of speed on side of Team Liquid again, and I think they're going to be hitting an earlier timing. Mickey on his Nature's Prophet, double save again. You can make quite a lot of stacks with these heroes, and Team Liquid, so far in this tournament, has been top 2 teams when it comes down to stacking. You have Tiny who can clear the stacks, and most importantly, Bristleback. I think 33 in this one takes priority, because once he gets down to his item timings, you did mention the Aghanim Scepter, the Bloodstone, SNY, that's going to follow up later. I think this Bristle has a
shot. Wow.
I think we've got Celery on Enchantress. We've seen him excel on that hero. The one threat of the Avalanche toss Tiny. This should be a really great Puck game if he gets a few support rotations to mid. He's got a bone to pick with Team Liquid. I think Quinn will take this game too.
Daracho has to acknowledge this game. Stop playing the active carry that you've done in the past. I need you to focus up. Just hit the creeps. Become the K1 of Western.
یعنی میخوای بگی هیروهای جی صفر نیست. سنتور دارن، دراگون دارن، چیز دارن، انچانترس دارن. نه جفت تیما صفر.
will bring that aggression inside the game. Before we head to that game number 2 of this grand finals, though, we're first going to head over to the stage where Sir Action Slacks is with Coach CY.
Thank you so much, my friends. Yes, we are here yet again with CY. CY, thank you so much for taking time with us. Now, we've been in this situation before, but a little different now. It seems like potentially a new Liquid. Were you guys kind of taken by surprise in that last one?
Not really, I think. I actually think we did a lot of good stuff. I think we messed up some stuff as well. And I kind of brought them back in the game. Like, Visage gets a lot of gold, obviously, with the facet against, like, when he starts getting a lot of kills. So, in the end, it gets pretty hard eventually. But I actually think it was our game, yeah.
Absolutely. Now, in a situation like that, where you believe that you got the game and then it kind of got away from you, what was it like in the booth? What did you tell these guys to get their heads back in the game? Because this isn't your first time in a grand finals, and you got to get their heads on right.
No, I mean, like, I told them that we actually did the right thing, and like, I think we comms well as well. I can hear the communications behind the scenes. So I think everything is like good. I think we just try to run it back and like stay focused and calm and logical, and I think it will be fine.
Absolutely. You know, they say loss is the best educator. You guys seem to learn a lot on that one. You stole the puck, you banned the Doom, you denied the Dragon Knight. These guys have learned a lot from you as well. Anything left to learn about this team since we've seen you so many times before against each other?
I don't know, honestly. Well, we'll have to see.
All right, fantastic. Well, congratulations so far. We'll see how you do. Bump it up, my man. And we'll get right in to game number 2. Let's throw it to our wonderful casters.
Thank you very much, Satch. Yes, it's time to get into the action of Game 2. Fog, some crazy stuff going on in the draft this time round. We're seeing for Liquid. They get that support duo again, the Tusk, the Shadow Demon. But over on the side of Gaming Gladiators, the Naga Siren gets through, a hero that's been banned over 100 times this tournament.
It's crazy how so many adaptations happened in this game, right? It's 0 common heroes that Gaimin was playing from the last draft. Liquid, they get 3 that they played last time, and those 3, they did look super strong. Boxian and Tusk in particular was kind of running the show, made them just come back in that game after that 7K deficit that they had just with some clutch saves and aggression. And yep, I mean, we'll have to see if this type of gaming strategy ends up working, because it is a bit different from the style that we've seen them run in some of these games in this tournament.
Already seeing here setting up around the early action. No one going to find any fights off the back of the first bounty runes. But yeah, what do you sort of make of gaming's overall direction this time around then, in comparison to what they went for in game 1?
More scaling. They're going to be able to just play the game to the later stages and stuff like that. I feel like that last one is a very standard. They want to snowball out of control with this Underlord and Chen and just completely dictate the pace of that early first 20 minutes. But yeah, Liquid, they fought back formidably. This one feels like they can look to stall the game out, play more about that economy game and stuff like that with the DK. Just, is it going to work is a bit of a question. Because Liquid, they did switch things up as well. Even though they have 3 common heroes, they bring in this Bristleback that's not been played too much throughout this tournament. But I was looking actually just before this game started. 33's been kind of playing it in quite a bit of pubs.
And is there anything specific about the Bristol right now that you could imagine 33, you know, is the reason why 33 feels good about this hero in this meta?
Yeah, I mean, you're able to fight super fast. You thrive off of stacks, and he's playing with 2 of the better stackers in the game, the Shadow Demon in particular. And he's just able to park himself in front of towers and defend maybe some of these early aggressive moves.
Level 1, though, could be a little bit vulnerable. The snowball save's going to come out for now, but 33 still getting brought incredibly low here. And they're trying to bait one another, and maybe Duracio's the one getting baited in. Stacks of the quill sprays there, so Duracio had to be careful.
Just save
it, Cores getting harassed very low by one another's team's supports.
They make the call though, Boxy's like, all right, maybe there's a little bit of a hard lane to just play straight up. He's gonna try to at least pull this wave on the side here, and it should be successful. Mid, Quinn, we'll see how he handles versus Tiny, another hero that's not been played the most throughout this tournament, but a standard counter versus the puck.
Yeah, one that historically we've seen Nisha have some explosive performances on. See how well he's able to I imagine potentially get a lead in this mid matchup. How does this work? We saw obviously switched around last time, Nisha being on the puck, and well, Quinn playing like the melee hero with a hard-hitting right click. Is it also a similar case where Tiny can have a little bit of an edge early on, or is it not quite the same?
Yeah, slight edge in the denies, but it's a very skill matchup, right? I think I've seen either of these players kind of win, depending on, you know, just a couple of these few early CS and stuff like that. Because Puck overall, the beauty about this hero now is you just get so much extra healing when you're playing in the lane just from this Puckish, this innate ability. You're able to just walk in, tank tower hits, dodge spells as well too. So every phase shift actually heals you pretty massively.
Looking down at the safe lane this time around from Liquid. They're going to try with a bit of setup. I mean, Ace has got a lot of poison stacks upon him. Shouldn't quite kill him, but at least it's going to force him right back. And Sania having to be careful as Tofu tries to push forward in return.
Oh, and this matchup actually in the mid lane, something really interesting is, of course, you can dodge normal spells, and also the tree grab. I think Nisha has to be careful every time he throws the tree at the puck, because if you dodge that one, you actually get 4 times the amount, because it's a spell projectile. Is what it looked like, at least. I believe he healed for like 100 or something when he threw the tree and dodged it. I'll keep eyes on see if that mechanic actually works like that, but...
So far in the CS in the mid, it's proven to be pretty even.
Yep.
In performance, 16-1 on Quinn, 14-3 for Nisha.
Yeah, pretty solid stuff. And also, one thing that we do get to see, which I think has not really gotten through in too many of these games, it's this Naga Siren. And it's not a 5-position Naga Siren either, which is very interesting to see. They do want Celery playing this Enchantress.
Oh, shit.
Interesting change.
Quite a few Quill Spray stacks onto Duracio. He's got to back off. The heals for Celery coming in. I mean, you feel both teams here, Liquid and Gaming, really trying to push one another's cores to the edge, to the limits here in this laning stage top. Just the question is going to be who's the first to fall off the back of these back and forth fights between Duracio and 33.
just have to be careful because it's such explosive damage that can come from a bristleback out of nowhere. And they do have a healing Lotus on the Tusk as well. So if you do get over-aggressive, overzealous, they could just pop that Lotus, get an extra quill or two out. So you do have to be a bit careful on the side of game and how aggressive you want to get onto 33. But Daracho, he's farming good. That's the important thing. So 21-4, and he is pretty much full HP.
And overall, do you see Gaming Gladiators maybe having a bit of a better plan for dealing with mid-K if the fight started to get out of control? Because we saw last game, despite that early lead that Gaming Gladiators had, when they started to sort of slip behind, there were so many fights that mid-K was just able to find prime position to sit in place, turret out that damage, and get just this incredible net worth lead. This time, do they have better answers to the safe lane Prophet?
I feel like they actually had some really good heroes versus the Prophet in the last game, to be honest with you. So I'm not 100% sure, but they do have good ways to get on top of him and burst him down in more control, I would say, than that last one. But there's still these saves, so it's tough to really say, because the Shadow Demon and his Tusk, we saw what they were able to do to just stop any of this aggression if they were in the good position, which after the first 12 minutes, they were always in that right spot.
For sure, and if anything, you know, we saw how well Liquid supports were able to get the saves off in a game against a smoke screen, you know, where Ricky was involved. This time that's not there, so it may even be that little bit easier for Liquid to pull off these clutch saves when Gaming Gladiators start making moves for the cause of Liquid.
This mid matchup is hype. I mean, it's very, very even. Just 100 gold difference between the two of them.
They're going to hit sort of levels at a pretty similar pace here in the mid.
But the puck can stay sustained a little bit easier, I would say, at this point, just because of that constant healing that's coming out. So Nisha actually does get pushed away from the lane.
They're going to go for Daracho. Straight away, they see that he's alone. The TP comes in from Mickey. Daracho's gone.
Heads up stuff, and immediately we can just TP back to bottom. Love it. Mickey tried to do this that last game, too. Early TP around that 4-5 minute mark. This time, it works out just a bit better. And 33 now, top of that net worth. DK Enchantress lane, usually a lane that it's pretty difficult to bully, but if you're going to be able to bring the numbers like that, it is beautiful.
And in terms of the Naga Siren, right, one of the edges, right, with this hero is the presence in the lane. I mean, the question is, has Tofu been able to do enough in this laning stage? Because looking at the farm, not really caused any slowdown for Mickey.
No, and most of the times when I've seen this hero played so dominantly, it's because you're playing with that ranged core in the safe lane. You're able to abuse either this ensnare plus reel-in combo with the deluge, and you get some early kills. So, yeah, definitely going to be a different kind of approach from Tofu and see what he's able to do. Right now, it's just him using mirror images to kind of block camps and manipulate waves like that, but it's not really having the effect that maybe they wanted to in this bottom lane. Yes, Ace is farming, but you're not really putting pressure onto Mickey.
So Daracha looks like he might want to go for an early move down towards the bottom.
Oh, this is cool. They're actually bringing 4 heroes. So I guess this is the way they want to pressure, because they don't have the best dual pressure. They want to do this, but Boxy's reading the movement.
Liquid seem to be relatively prepared for this potential play, or maybe they're just going to look to go aggressive first themselves. They do. They go straight over towards Tofu.
Centaur creep.
You're going to get the follow-up stun as well from Ace. This could give Gaming Gladiators the chance to fight back. Celery and Ace, do they have enough damage to threaten Mickey? A bit of body blocking here from Tofu with the Naga Siren illusion, but Mickey's still able to get around, get back to safety. So yeah, Daracho didn't want to be a part of this. Resumes farm up top. So Gaming Gladiators, as soon as they lose Tofu there, they decide against trying to make that sort of wraparound play.
The Wisdom Rune, it's going to get stolen. He's able to just take down away Tofu. He's already limited
He's got no way out, though. He's got no way out.
Does he see him? He's sneaking. He's
actually been able to juke perfectly outside of vision. I don't think Tofu's seen him at all.
Celery, they see this with the scan. Celery's trying to catch him up, and Mickey's just waltzing past them.
They see him, of course, now with the micro. I mean, surely he doesn't get away with this, Mickey.
Surely not. Ace is looking to go get him now.
Yeah, they're going to put an end to him here, Ace. I don't know if he can do some crazy sort of sprout play. He tries, but the Quelling Blade's there. Ace will be able to slowly but surely catch him out and cut him down. So he gets the wisdom, does cost him his life.
Always painful to lose these wisdom runes. They're not really the most, I would say, the most level dependent supports on the side of Gaming Gladiators, though, right? The level 6s aren't really that impactful from either one of them. Yes, the Naga Song later on will be, but early on, them actually missing out on that XP might not be the most atrocious thing. Because sometimes it's like a Snapfire that doesn't get a 6 super early, but these two, we'll see what type of result it ends up happening. Of course, the supports on Liquid, they're going to be super happy. And they're going to be very high level. So Boxy, he's already level 5.
And in terms of some of the individual farm we're seeing at 33, he's getting quite a scary bit of space up top.
Sure is. They're going for the surround.
از دستشتن هیروشونه یا آدمایی که اومدن اونجا.
Found him in on top with the Dragon Tail. Gaming Gladiators, have they got any further cancel for the TP of Mickey? They don't, so they'll have to turn and sell for Boxy. Liquid, they get Mickey out.
Heavy commitment, though. It is a Stampede plus a DK form to at least try to pressure tower and get a kill. They just get a support. And yeah, like you said, in the meantime, 33, he's just doing maximizing mechanics.
Yeah, he's massive.
Yeah, he's just pulling creeps into jungle creeps, stacking them up as much as possible. This is going to be an absurdly fast Ags timing for him.
And we see the progress between the two mid laners. Nisha and Quinn continues to be incredibly close.
Dead even. Literally 8 gold between the two of them or something, or 9. My math was bad.
But yeah, looking at 33, you got to sort of ask the question, Gaming Gladiators, what's the plan with regards to this Bristle? Because at the moment, 33 is on track to get one of the faster Ags timings you'll see on a Bristleback this patch.
I imagine it's just to get a really, really farm DK. Maybe at some point the Silver Edge later down the lines can be something they look for an answer, but I would imagine it's Dyrachyo getting this armlet, getting this type of crazy type of farm to deal with him, because besides that, their damage is definitely quite limited versus a very farmed Bristle in the early game. And speaking of very farm Bristle, he does still have those stacks to go back to as well, which I believe is like a double stack and a triple on the Ancients.
Yeah, that's insane. Actually, if things continue like this, this is going to be a completely insane Aghanims timing. This game for 33. He's already half the way there. As you say, with stacks to the plenty, he'll be in a very, very solid time. And across the board, though, the 3 cores of Gladiators do have the tools to make plays. Definitely on heroes outside of the Bristle. So we'll see where Gaming Gladiators look to make their moves. And just in general, look to see if they try and check out this area and get some information regarding the stacks of Team Liquid. Celery been caught in.
Big Wrath of Nature.
And with the burst coming in as well from the snowball, Stampede is not going to get Celery out in time. Same time up top, Dyrachyo is going to try to set him on a 33. Really he really is, and backup is in for it. And Sania holds back Dyrachyo. With these two heroes, there's just not a chance. Even with Quinn being present, he knows that using a Dream Coil there is just not going to do a whole lot at all. This Bristleback is very unlikely to die unless they bring all 5, and even at that, it might not still be an easy job.
No, absolutely. It's going to be till later on when they have the answers, especially like we were saying, the DK, or if they can get him actually facing the right target, because they do have stuns at the least to be able to stop and hold that Bristle back in place. Nisha?
Gonna try and get the catch. Nisha optic to immediately break the Dream Coil.
Hey, bir tane yemeğiyle.
We're gonna come in, but they've actually backed off on that Gaming Gladiators. They know they're not getting a kill quick and easy. Nisha's gonna be fine.
Quinn's in trouble.
He's ended up under the tower, jumping over towards the orb in an attempt to get away from Nisha and Insania. He's got another orb to try and break away. Have they got anything to stop it? They have not. So Quinn is able to dance safely back to the side of Celery's Enchantress.
Almost had the vision there from Nisha. If he was able to get that toss, the phase shift and everything was actually down, could have almost maybe gotten that pocket. But they're going to smoke instantly, even without the coil at the ready. This is a very unexpected move that could catch Liquid off guard here. They're going to throw the scan.
Let's see what they can find. Mickey would be the ideal catch.
I mean, they have this deep ward. It's about to expire as well, too. Mickey might not see this coming. That ward was literally right outside the sentry range.
Now, this is a solid play here from Gaming Gladiators, but it will get shown now. So TPs do start to come through. Maybe these two can't get the burst off in time to kill him off. Mickey's going to come in with the snowball.
Oof. Çese videodaş Boxy.
Boxy was that was the fastest TP I've ever seen. It was literally before they even showed on the smoke, it felt like. That was crazy. He's on point with this Tusk.
It looked like they were going to get away with it as well.
Liquid Woman sertere bence.
Boxy, save
Liquid
after save.
Woman sertere.
Mickey's doing some really cool little stuff here too. Just planting this tree for extra damage. It's actually kind of neat. Just this GG branch with his innate. Actually very cool. I don't think I've seen many people do that. I was wondering why he was just randomly dropping the GG branch, and I'm like, oh, very cool.
The farm continues, and indeed, this Bristleback, 33. He's completely out of control. The Aghanims, ridiculous timing here, pre-12 minutes, I believe.
That's insane. And he's got the Voodoo Mask.
Yeah, the spell life steal's already out on top of it.
Overall, looking at the lineup of Gaming Gladiators too, nobody really wants to build a Vessel. I mean, Vessel's kind of a dead item right now, but no one wants to build Vessel, and Shiva's is not going to come down for ages, even if it does come out for something like Puck. So definitely going to be some problems that they have with this Bristle.
I mean, for Gaming Gladiators, what sort of item timing or strength do you think they're looking towards to make their move this game?
I think it's going to be pretty farm heavy, actually, on this side gaming. I feel like it's a very different strategy that they've gone for this game around. Usually they're around like 25-minute aura timings. There's a lineup where we may not even see too many auras come out from either side, let's be honest with you. So definitely a bit of a different kind of style game that it could lead up to these like late games, which I think we're all looking forward to, because we've had quite a bit of these games around like the 20 to 35-minute mark that kind of end. This one could get pretty late game if they end up playing just for this farm game, which for gaming, it looks like they want to. So Liquid definitely have a way to set tempo, though. They have this Bristleback who's massive. They can force objectives very early on, and that's what it feels like they're going to start doing, playing around 33.
Yeah, we'll have to see how much they can force, because indeed, if the game gets to a point where we're sort of 20, 25 minutes in, and the Bristols at the high ground of Gaming Gladiators. Gaming Gladiators are going to have to come in with some sort of answer.
Yes, absolutely. I mean,
بچه من دیگه باید یواش یواش از حضورتون مراقب باشم.
Lead in from Quinn, so they have the damage for Vason, the Sammy, and the Who Stop.
نگران نباشید تی بازی رو میبره.
Saving him this time. Gaming Gladiators taking the kill, but can they get out?
ویدیو بعدی ما هم از کس خواهد بود. مجموعه از جواباتون رو با هم بهتون دادم. چه پدری دارن در میارن این یارو. چیزی دوستان گلم دست نباشید به زودی مجددا میبینم